Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today we're going to focus on some little steps that will lead you in the direction to a more simple and minimal life. So today I thought it might be helpful to go back to basics and break down the journey of minimalism into 4 simple steps. Yes, only 4. And as you walk along these steps, you will walk away from hopelessness and discouragement into a feeling of calm and contentment in your life. But please remember, as I talk through this list, that the journey of minimalism is highly personal, and there's no set timetable or timestamp for each step. So while you may breeze through one step, it may take you years to get through another, and that's completely normal and natural. Whatever pace is right for you is the pace that you should go. Be sure to watch this video until the very end, where I share an extra special secret about these steps, which can aid your minimalist life. All right, let's jump in. Step 1, visualize. In this step, the goal is to capture the vision that you want for your life. First things first, you're going to need to identify what it is that is making you want to make this change in the first place. Is your life feeling overly complicated? Are you burdened down by clutter or too much commitment to different things? Are you feeling spread thin, or have you just started to recognize that your things, your stuff, has become a master over you? The bottom line is you need to recognize what the problem is before you can attempt to solve it. Step 1 is also the perfect time to think deeply and thoughtfully about your why. Why are you making these changes in your life? Who will benefit from them, and in which ways? Do you see a journey of minimalism as being a way to eventually leave a legacy to your children? Or maybe you understand that living a more simple life would be a perfect way to guard and protect your mental health. Whatever your why is, find it, cling to it, and it wouldn't hurt to write it down either. In fact, starting a journal in step 1 can be very helpful in keeping you on track and also offering encouragement to the future you who might get caught up on one of the other steps. And finally, with step 1, believing that you can make a change is equally as important as understanding why you want to. Walking the path to a more simple or minimal life might not always be easy, but it is definitely possible. Step 2, downsize. This is a step that gets the most attention, and it's also the one that some people believe minimalism is all about. The idea that minimalism is decluttering and downsizing until you get down to the bare bones minimum that you need to survive is an absolute myth. The truth is that the downsizing, decluttering process is a way to figure out and determine what it is you truly value. As part of this step, you'll need to identify what clutter is to you. And believe me when I say that this varies quite a bit from person to person. Anything that you can readily and easily identify as clutter in your life can go right away. Other things you're going to need to think a little bit more thoughtfully about. And I'm not just talking about stuff here. What about commitments that are taking up all of your time, leaving little left for your family or your loved ones? Or even, sadly, toxic relationships that are draining the life out of you emotionally. These are also things that can be downsized or decluttered. A very interesting thing happens during this particular step. A person begins to realize and recognize that in many ways, less truly is more. Let me give you a couple of examples. Fewer items of clothing in your closet can mean actually more outfit options that fit well and you feel good in. Or less time committed to activities or volunteer opportunities that you don't truly value or align with, and that can leave more time for you to spend time on things that you truly do enjoy. Step 2 is also the one that is likely to take the longest of all 4 steps, because it's going to be like peeling back layers of an onion. You will make some quick wins at first, decluttering or downsizing items or commitments that you no longer want in your life. You already know that, and you can just easily get rid of them. And slowly reevaluating and redetermining as you get into those more difficult to decide upon all the way down to the center of that onion with those sentimental items and making those decisions thoughtfully and carefully. Now, when will you know when you have downsized enough? That can be the tricky part, and I like to say that each person is going to have a comfort level of their own. What one person might see as being downsized enough, somebody else might see as being too much. So again, focus on your personal journey, what level feels right for you. And also take in consideration step number 3, which offers up some checks and balances. And what is step 3, you ask? To organize. Let me note right off the bat here that it is pointless to attempt step number 3 unless you have a good handle on step number 2. If you try to organize before you have thoughtfully and intentionally decluttered or downsized, you're likely to fail at this step. With the items that you have decided to keep, develop some systems to help keep them organized and from becoming overwhelming once again. Now, this can come in a variety of forms, and I'll give you a few examples. One easy way is to make sure that every item has a home or a place to belong within your home. And this is just a way to make sure that they get back to where they belong and they're easy to find and they're easy to put away. This can be as simple as a habit formation. You may also consider to purchase some containers, maybe some bins or baskets to help keep things separated by category so that things aren't getting all jumbled together. This is classically something that happens within drawers. So in my personal drawers of clothing, I like to have some different containers to separate my shirts, for example, from shorts or other types of garments. That's another way that you can organize. And another example would be in a closet. So if you want to keep and make sure that you're not going to be overwhelmed by the amount of clothes in your closet, you can develop a system of keeping only a set number of hangers in that closet. And then when you want to add something new, you have to make a choice. Either eliminate one of the items you have in your closet already to occupy that hanger, or make the decision not to purchase or bring in something new. What about a system to deal with the relationships or activities that you value and have decided that you want to hang on to in your life? A calendar might be a good organizational system for this. Now, it might seem a little awkward at first, but scheduling out some special time to really pour in your full effort and attention into that activity or that relationship, it can be really helpful. And going along with the personalized theme of all of these steps, the systems that you decide to implement in your life might look different than somebody else's, but that is totally okay. It only matters that the systems that you implement are working for you. And that brings me to the final step, step number 4, prioritize. If I could give this step another name, it would be balance. This is the point, the step on the minimalist journey where you get into a really good rhythm. I would say for myself personally, it's when I started to feel really calm and natural in living a minimalist life. It didn't feel like I had to even think about it anymore. I stopped having those feelings of comparison and keeping up with the Joneses and started to feel a lot more content and peaceful in my own life. Strangely enough, though, this step can also be the most difficult because as humans, we have a tendency to become a bit complacent when life is moving along swimmingly and smoothly. We slide back into some of our old habits and tendencies, maybe accumulating more than we need or not really being thoughtful about the things that we have. The advice I have for step 4 is to stay aware, and this is going to help you recognize when things start feeling off again. Another key bit of advice is to develop the ability to say no. This is such a simple little word, but it is very difficult to do. And not being able to develop the ability to say no can lead to a lot of extra clutter, a lot of extra chaos in our lives. And so while you are prioritizing your life and your decisions, your vision, you need to be able to say no to the things that don't align with it. Because once you've found your balance, you need to prioritize it. Find time for yourself, spend time with the ones that you love, interact with and appreciate the things that you own. And one of the best ways to remember to prioritize and keep this balance is to actually check back on step number 1 and that vision, that visualization that you've set up for your life, and keeping that vision at the forefront of your mind. Which brings me to the secret of all 4 of these steps. They play out in a minimalist life on a constant loop. Visualize, downsize, organize, prioritize, then back to visualize once again. Because in truth, we are always refining our lives, crafting it in the way that we want it to be. There is no set destination or specific level that you can reach and then call yourself a minimalist and life will be perfect and simple and you don't have to do any of the hard work, any of the heavy lifting ever again. That does not exist. So in closing, a quick recap of the 4 steps and the 4 simple words that will help you remember them. Step 1, visualize. Determine what you want and believe that you can get there. Step 2, downsize. Get rid of the excess to showcase what you truly need, want, and love. Step 3, organize. Develop systems to keep your spaces and relationships running smoothly going forward. And step number 4, prioritize. Appreciate the balance that your life has by keeping your visual always in mind. Just keep walking through these steps, one after another, and enjoy your minimalist journey. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.